I love to do a little bit of breathing first. And we did some nice breathing last week where we were doing quick exchanges of the air. Hello, Brian. And so, yes, let's start with one of my favorite things to do. Hello, Diane. And I'm going to go over to the wall. So if you're saying hi and I don't respond to you, I'm sorry. But I'm going to go over to this wall over here. And if you've got a wall, also feel free to stand against it. So hopefully you can still hear me. I'm talking reasonably loudly. So what I want you to do is just to feel your shoulders and your bum against the wall, but everything else shouldn't really be touching the wall. So the middle of your back doesn't touch, and the feet are not touching, and the head isn't touching. So just the shoulders and the bum. And so you feel that support of the wall. Your feet are like shoulder width apart, and just feel your arms being nice and free, shoulders not tight there. And then what I want you to do is just slide down the wall ever so slightly. So just send the knees forward and slide down a little bit. So your knees are slightly bent now, nice and released. And from there, this is fine as well, but from here, if you can, just pivot a little bit from the hip here. And this is called the monkey position in Alexander technique. And it's also known as the position of mechanical advantage. So it's a great one for really releasing in the stomach because everything just sort of hangs with gravity here. And you should feel in the back as well a nice amount of space so the lungs can really expand into the back. Okay, so we're going to breathe from here. We're just going to breathe in for 4 and then out for 4. Okay, so in we go. And then again, just try to keep the length here. So don't fall forward too much. Just think up. And then out for 4. Keep the arms really swinging. So this is why it's called monkey, because it's like a monkey, basically. And then you can just come back to the wall. Same thing. Try and feel that freedom in the ribs and in the stomach. And then breathing out for 4. And then just come up and away from the wall. And you can stand and just swing your arms a little bit, just to get all of this sort of free. This is a really good thing that I like to do before if I've got to give a class or if I've got to do an audition or a concert, just to get everything relaxed and released. So that all that little built-up tension, just let it all go. Okay, so just swing your arms, feel the ground, knees nicely bent. And from here, we're going to do a little breathing exercise I learned from Lorna McGee, which is we're going to breathe out and lift our arms up. And then when you allow the air in very quickly, it's just going to drop. And in that time, you will get your air. The air will shoot in for you. So you gradually breathing out. And then in. Okay, one more time. And just really let go. And then the air just shoots back in. So that's a little breathing to get us going. Heels, not quite against the wall, I don't think. Doesn't really matter, I suppose, but just a little gap is good. Yeah, great. Now with the flute, we're going to do a quick breathing exercise, which is in the handouts. And this is really good for any time when you need to breathe, but you aren't given a big rest to do it in, and then you've got another long phrase. For example, Mendelssohn scherzo. There's little places to breathe, but you don't have a lot of time to do so. So we have to practice breathing in quickly. Okay, so we start with short notes. So a quaver followed by a quaver rest. I'm just going to keep repeating that for now. So you blow out and breathe in. Like that, okay? And just do it on a B or any note you like. Okay, then let's go a little bit quicker. It's about double speed. Okay, now we're going to do a crotchet or a quarter note followed by the short rest. Same length of rest. Okay, so just a little bit longer and then quick breath in. Now 2 beats for the note and then a short rest. Okay, and now 4 beats. So very long note and then quick rest again. So that's 4, and now we'll do 8. Same thing, very short rest at the end. 1, 2. Like that. Okay, so let's do the longest one now. So the short one just gradually prepares you for this longer one. Let's do the long one, 8 beats. Start on a B, then we'll go down to B flat, then we'll do A, and just keep going until maybe G. Okay, so we're doing 8 beats on each note, but a very quick little breath in between. Just a little sip. Ready? 1, 2. Okay, so that's a really good thing I like to do just to practice the quick breath. And that was only 8 beats. You might want to extend that as much as you can to sort of practice long phrases with a short breath. But do it gradually. So we wouldn't do 16 beats just yet, but maybe you could try 10, 12, etc. And you can just add that into your warm up for long tones or whatever. And the quick breath is also good because it gives you like a syncopated feeling. Bum, bum, and it adds to the sort of vibrancy of your sound. So it's really quite a nice thing to practice. Good. Now the next bit, we're still on the Mussorgsky. This is the last one, don't worry, but this is the last little warm-up based on Mussorgsky's Night on a Bare Mountain. And before the flute solo is a clarinet solo, which is almost the same, except it's minor rather than major. So it's a little gloomy, sort of cloudy feel. And then when the flute comes in, the sun comes out. It's a really wonderful, magical moment. But the clarinet has this, in the first 2 bars, has an octave jump. And when clarinet players play it, you get this wonderful, well, if they're good anyway, like a very smooth octave, and it's super quiet on the top, usually. And I always want to get that on the flute as well. This very pure octave. So I've written out a little exercise based on that. So we start on a B flat, just with the first sort of 2 bars for most of it. But I wrote out the melody, the whole melody for the first one. So if you can see that with the handouts, you can follow along. So we start on the B flat one, and just play the whole melody, and then we'll do the ones as they're written down. So just a point about octaves. We need to remember we need to lift the airstream, and we're getting quieter, so we don't want to blow more air, but the air does need to go twice as fast. So think fast and up with your airstream, and that will help you get your octaves. And we can work on that a little bit as well with some harmonics, but let's just try playing it through. Okay, so let's just do the first 2 bars of that one again, and just feel going from the low D, don't push the low D out, but really lifting up for the top one. If I don't do anything with the lips, it's flat on the top. So that's why we need to lift with the lips. It helps fine tune the pitch there, but we're also combining that with the airspeed. So quite often students will do one or the other, so they're overworking the lips or overworking the support system there, but we want to have both. So just remember airspeed and direction, and you'll be fine. Okay, so let's do the first 2 bars. Okay, now we'll go on to the next key. So the one that starts on B has lots of sharps. It's just 1 semitone higher. Good, next one. Next one up, D flat. And D natural. And E flat. Okay, etc. Okay, so this is a really nice melodic way of practicing quiet octaves. Now, because of the notes that we've got here, we can practice it with reverse harmonics. So what that basically is you finger a high note, such as, so if we take F as an example, top F, finger that one, you should be able to split it down to its lower partials. So it's going to sound, so top F is this. Then you blow a little slower, angle the air slightly down. So there's 3 pitches that we have. And we can practice this coming back up again, but remaining super soft. So it's very easy to play soft here because the air is slower. And we want to remain on this sort of level of dynamic. but we're going to just come up to the next pitch very gradually. So lower lip slightly forward and the air speed slightly faster. And then try it again. Good, and then go from that one up to the top note. And again. And then when you get to that top one, just repeat it. So you're working on the muscle memory there. It's just here's the top F each time, and you get it straight away. So 1, 2, 3, and then repeat. And this is really a good exercise as well. If you're playing the Poulenc Sonata, second movement, you've got to come in on the top F, like that, or the Prokofiev Sonata, it starts on a top F at the end there, when it's the pianissimo, just right at the end of the first movement. And things like Stravinsky Firebird, where you have to come in on a top F sharp. All those things, also Prokofiev Classical Symphony, top A in the slow movement. Those things can cause us stress, but if we practice this technique very methodically and calmly, without pushing the dynamic, without squeezing, we can get those notes every time, hopefully. Obviously, mistakes happen, but you're going to be more set up for that to be successful. So these are really nice things to do. Okay, let's move on to the articulation part with some harmonics as well. So the next part of the piece that I really love is kind of towards the end. It says letter X. I think this is in the violin part. And it's quite slow. And so we have a slur of 2 and then tongue 2. So we need nice, clear, repeated notes, but not too much gap between the slurred note and then the next tongue note. So try not to don't cut the last note of the slur. And then we've got the slur in 2s. Careful not to do the gaps there as well. So try to connect, but really clear as well by diminishing the note, the second note nicely. So it's do, do, do. Need a little bit of this movement that we were doing earlier. Okay, so if you've got the music there, let's play from X all the way until when that bit finishes, because it's so beautiful. And then I'm going to give you a harmonic exercise to work on that first little bit. Okay, so from X, 1, 2. That's one of my favorite bits apart from the solo. So now harmonics with this dum. So we're thinking he's written some accents on the first note, which helps us with the meter stress there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So we want more on the 1, and then lift, little release on the 2, and then 3, 4 picks us up to the next 1. So we're practicing playing with a really good meter and with the embouchure as well for these intervals. So the first one starts with the low C harmonic. So find your third harmonic, which is a G. So that's where we start, and then we go. Then enough semitone higher, so finger low C sharp. And then low D. And then E flat. Good. So you can do that on all your harmonics, just to practice that sort of articulation. And then I haven't written it in the handout, but it's good to practice these slurs in twos, whether you use the music up there or you can just do it on a scale. So if we take a D major scale, and we're going to go something like that, dee-dum, 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 all the way up to top and then back down. So think do, do, all the way through. Let's do the same thing on E flat major. Now let's go a bit quicker for F major. And we'll try two slurred and two tongued, same scale. So I go D da da D da da. 1, 2. And same thing, G major. Okay, so that should hopefully have warmed you up a bit. I feel certainly a bit warmer. Does anybody have any questions about all of that? Anything that you're struggling with, not understanding, or anything? Any question is welcome. And I'll just do the awkward wait in case you have a comment. Any observations as you're doing that? What do you notice in your own playing? Has it helped? Do you feel warmed up? Do you like to do harmonics? And do you have any requests? So there's many things you could ask about. But I don't see any questions. So I will assume that's all self-explanatory, and I will see you next week. And hopefully, I think the next warm-up will be based on the Ooh Fantasy, since that was a request. So we'll work on some warm-ups based around that, melodic warm-ups. And anything else that you want to do, please let me know. But thanks for tuning in from wherever you came from. Yes, great. So I'll keep doing the harmonics into next week as well, since that's useful. I love harmonics, so that's fine with me. Okay, so I will see you next week, and there'll be the handouts ready for that class before the class, hopefully. So do download those. Okay, take care, everyone.